on what y'all usually want? That thing? The more y'all do anyway. The more we hold off on what y'all usually want? That thing? The more y'all do anyways. The more y'all give and the more y'all do. The only men who won't do more are the men who only want that. So if you want to vet them out anyway, sis, vet them out and watch them show up. A man should penetrate your heart and your mind before he ever penetrates your body.
First of all, this is a old, washed up 304 who has all the answers with no husband in sight. Now, the simps would say, "Oh, she don't have a problem getting a man. She can get any guy she want." Wrong. She can't. She can't. Because what the simps think, right? This is what the simps think. The simps think, "Oh, she can get a guy making 60,000. She can get a guy making 80,000, 100,000. This is how the simps think. That there's plenty of guys out there that she can get if she wanted to. Here's the thing, simp. She don't want those guys. She don't want those guys at all. She's looking for the athletes or former athletes. She's looking for the entertainers, the rappers, singers. This is what she's looking for. The thing is, none of these guys in those positions want her. That's the reason why she's alone. Because the guys that she want do not want her. The guys that interview her or the guys that she's, doing podcasts with, these entertainers and athletes, they don't want her. They won't marry her. And she can't get them. Because she's washed. Now, as far as what she's talking about, a guy should penetrate your mind before he penetrates the box. Newsflash, those guys tried to do that when you were younger. The good guy. This is why the good guy always finishes last. That was the good guy. The good guy that was trying to date them. The good guy that was trying to be in a relationship with them. The good guy that was trying to court them. The good guy, and when they were younger, the good guy approached them and tried to get with them. And yes, he tried to penetrate her mind instead of trying to penetrate the box, and he ended up losing for it. He lost. You know who ended up penetrating the box? The street dudes. The gangsters, the criminals, the drug dealers. They penetrated the box. So now that they're old and washed, they looking for that type of energy all over again. The thing is, it's not happening because those dudes that you didn't want, they are either married or they're done with relationships and they're not trying to do that. This is for women in general, not her, because she's giving advice to these women in general. The thing is, these guys that were doing that, they got nothing out of it when they were trying to court these women in their early years. Penetrating the mind is what made them lose. So now that you're old and washed, now you're looking for a guy to penetrate your mind? No. It's not happening.
Then you will really experience the true essence of an orgasm anyways. I've had men say to me, if I can't marry you, I don't even want to touch your body. Now that's a man who isn't a sucker.
No. What man said that? What man said that? And if he did, yes, that's a sucker. But what man was saying that to her? She is giving the box. There's an opportunity to get the box. She wants to give the box. She wants to get taken on the tizzy tour. And the guy just out of nowhere said, no, I don't want to take you on the tizzy tour unless I marry you first. What guy is she talking about? We're talking about men, right? Men and males. What is she talking about? That's not even how men think. That's not even how men think. No matter how goody two shoes he is, if he have the opportunity to get some box right then and there, right? He's going to smash. What? Oh, so in that moment when he can smash, he's going to stop and think to himself and say to her, no. I don't want to smash, right? I don't want to smash. I want to get married first. Stop lying, man. This is all cap.
That's a man who is of age, a mature age, who is ready to have a wife. And he is no longer so superficial in his thinking that the best thing about a woman is her sex.
So what she's saying, right, that ultimately these guys that she's talking about is only looking to have sex only through marriage. What is she talk? They talking about the don't bring them back to the 50s. Don't bring them back to the 20's. Don't bring them back to the past, 80 years in the past, 100 years ago and stuff like that. Well, here's the thing, washed. Here's the thing. The only way a man will do that in this day and age is if she still has a V card. If she still has a V card, that's it. If she still has a V card, that's the only way I can see a man saying, you know what, we can wait till marriage. Why would a man wait for marriage for used up box? So you done gave the box, you got 40 bodies, 40 to 100. Let's keep it a buck. At her age, you got like 300 bodies. So you let 300 dudes smash. But when it comes to me, I have to marry you to get into the box that 300 other dudes been there already, but they didn't have to marry you. Man, get out of here. Man, shut up. This is all cap, man. This is cap.
He's finding value not only different in women, but watch this, in himself. Because I only get to experience the parts of you that you've already given you. And
but you already giving yourself to multiple men. It's not like he's experiencing something that's not having been driven. You got wild mileage on you already. So what? That's a very high price for a car with 300,000 miles on it. 300,000 miles on it, but you still want $70K for the whip. No, it's not happening.
So a man who only sees value in a woman being just sex is a man who doesn't see value in himself. It is just, we are just mirrors to each other. I see value in myself. That's why casually you cannot make love to my body. Because I don't see value in casual sex. I don't
They
see
did
value in the
already.
orgasm.
They did already. Dudes did that already. She looking for V prices, virgin prices. No, you did already. It's too late for that. She's 43 years old. 43. 43. No. Those days are done. See, here's the thing. She is looking, she's looking for the same price that she thought she can command at 23. See, at 23, they weren't even thinking about relationships. They weren't thinking about marriage. You know, they weren't thinking about any of these things. You know, it was just tizzy tours. It was just dating multiple guys, breaking a headboard, getting a headboard broken on them. That's all it was for them, right? Is when they get older and nobody's checking for them, right? They think that personal accomplishments mean something to men, right? Like being a psychologist, having a degree, if they're doing well in life, they think that means something. That means nothing to men. That means nothing to men. So the more education they get, right? And I'm not saying she's wildly educated. Her degrees and her being a doctor has always been in question. But this is the idea that the more, since they're old, they believe that the value system now relies in education. So the more education they obtain means that they have a better pick of the litter. And it's so backwards because that's not how it is for men. Men don't care about what it is they study. Men care about youth and looks. She's washed. 43, you're done. You can't ask for Nathan, especially the guy that she wants. No, he's not even looking at her. She's invisible to those guys. She's wildly invisible. Nobody knows her. Nobody wants to get to know her. Nobody wants to get in a relationship with her. Nobody wants anything to do with her on that level. And I'm talking about the guys she wants. I'm not talking about no random guys, the guys she wants. And that's the reason why there's no men in sight for her at all. Because she can't get them.
Without being connected to you, without being committed to you, without having access to your home or to who you are or what you do. I don't see value in that. An orgasm doesn't do it for me, but your heart does, your commitment does, your time does.
It did when you were younger, though. That's all you were chasing when you was younger. See, they think that when they get older, they can ask for a higher price. No, you're old. Who cares if you about what an orgasm? Nobody cares. You're 43. Who cares? At 43, who cares? Like, seriously. Like, that doesn't do anything for you now because you washed. But when you was young, that's all you was doing. So now you looking for something else from men that you can't get. And that is resources. She's looking for resources from a guy, and she's trying to have a trade-off. Who in their right mind is willing to use their resources for a 43-year-old, a 43-year-old chick? Who's willing to do that? Who's willing to do that? Think about it. Who's willing to do that? The average guy out here is not willing to risk his resources on a woman that old. The average guy. So the guy she wants is invisible. I'm just telling she's invisible to that guy. Let's go.
Right? Your thoughtfulness.
Yes.
That's what I want. Then you can take me to Bora Bora. Then we could be tearing Bora Bora up and you could be tearing me up in Bora Bora. But until then,
it ain't happening.
you're going to access me, love me, you're going to pursue me, you're going to court me, and I will do the same with you. And then by the time we do what we're doing, it will be fireworks. People are having horrible sex too because all they doing is...
Fireworks at 43 is crazy. This is a Disney fan. She think this Disney. I ain't never seen a man in his 40s meet a woman in her 40s and say there was fireworks. Never. I never met a dude, anybody in my circle that dates, women from 20 on up, 20, not 20 on, it's usually around 22, 23 on up, right? Anybody in my circle that has dated women from 22 to 42, I have never heard any one of them say they had fireworks dealing with a woman in her 40s. A woman in their 30s, I never heard them say, yeah, there was fireworks. I heard them say when they were dating women that were 25, I heard them say that. I heard dudes in their 40s say, yeah, there was fireworks. It felt like magic dating a 26-year-old. I have never heard an older gentleman. I never heard a younger gentleman who was dating an old Keisha said there was fireworks. There is no fireworks dealing with these old women. There's no fireworks. Only thing you hear is, drum roll. Drum roll. That's all you hear. You know what the drum roll is? What's coming next? Drum roll, please. Depression. Drum roll, please. Anxiety. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. Agitation. Drum roll, please. Loss of resources. Drum roll, please. Whack sex. These old Keishas. The box is done. They so washed and used. They don't feel nothing. Talking about you ain't doing nothing. It's nothing. You don't feel nothing because you ran through. You ran through and you stay with the rose. The rose done took all the sensation out of you. Getting piped, getting piped left and right and using a rose. Now you get with a guy and there's no sensation. It's his fault. No, you're dead down there.
Casually. And they're calling freaky good sex.
Yeah.
And this is why nobody... But how come sexual relationships aren't even lasting? If it's so good, why y'all not the same person for years at a time? I'm confused. Because it ain't good. It's freaky. It's something you...
No. They're tired of... Let me tell you something about men that are in relationships. Here's the truth. And men, black men, let me know if I'm wrong or not, right? Here's the thing that men really don't tell these women. By the first year being with their girlfriends or wives, by the first year, they're already tired of the box. They're already tired of the box. And what I mean by that is that the only thing that excites men is new box. That's it. New box. New box is what excites men. Now let me explain something about the commitment of men that are with women and they're in these relationships and they not stepping out of their marriage. Do you know what it takes for them to keep that marriage alive? Do you know the fortitude? Do you know what they have to muster up within themselves to stay in this relationship? They've been with the same woman 5-10 years, taking the same woman on the tizzy tour. You think that they're excited? You think that when they take, that the box is just so important to them? No, it's not. They had it 1,500 times. So when we be hearing that these women talking about, the dude that they with, if he's not acting right, they'll withdraw the box from them or whatever it is. Newsflash. They don't care. Matter of fact, taking their wives, having relations with their wives for men, it's a chore now. It's more like a chore than incitement. So when she's talking about whack sex, it's whack sex because they're the ones that men are the ones that are bored with the women because they've been there and done it. It's not exciting to them. It has nothing to do with performance. It's just not exciting to him anymore. But he's still willing to stay in that relationship, and he's still willing to be a provider and protector for box that he can care less about anymore, right? He cares about the person. He cares about the woman. That's the difference between men and women. See, a woman will leave a man over sex. She will leave a man over sex. Some new dude come into her life and pipe her down real good, she's gone. She's gone. And she confused it with emotions. That's how you know we're better people. We're better people. See, a guy that's married, if he steps out of his relationship and have sex with a woman and the sex is great, right? Because it's a new woman, guess what? He will not leave his wife for that woman because he cares about his wife. He cares about his wife. He loves his wife. Oh, the box don't get him excited anymore, but he cares about his wife. He cares about her feelings. He cares about her emotions. He cares about all that. He might not even step out all the time, every once in a blue moon. But when he step out that one time, he has a great time. And the sex is amazing. But he will not leave his wife. He will not destroy the family over that box because he understands it's just some side box that he had and it's not important. A woman will leave and destroy her family over a side dude that is piping her down. So all this talk about whack sex, she really don't know, because a man, if he's with a woman for a long time, he looks at it as whack sex. I don't care how long, I don't care what anybody say. If he's been with his wife 10, 15, 20 years, it's not exciting It's the same. Matter of fact, it's just a routine. It's just routine at this point. It's just routine. It's nothing exciting. It's just routine. So I don't know what she's talking about.
You can get anywhere you go. That's what makes it casual. When you plug into a man or a woman and y'all are having real sensual sex that is nasty, not just freaky, you can't get that anywhere. That's the fusing.
What about nasty freaky?
You can do freaky and nasty, but as long as it's fused and connected on a deeper level than just casualty, and that means the orgasm isn't what we are thriving for, it's the act and the engagement of the sex that's orgasmic within itself. See, that's grown people talk. You kids, y'all having this little high school sex. Y'all doing that little rabbit shit still. We don't want that. We don't want that. You can keep that right over there. Right over there.
I thought the further the trip, the freakier and the nastier it got, Doc.
Listen.
The
further the trip
yeah.
to my heart, to my safe space, to my mind, to me accessing everything, your cell phone, everything you have, is the more sex we have. That's the nastier that a woman who loves herself and respects herself will get. The more that you create an environment that I can trust you in, that I am safe in, it's not about freaky. I'll never say no. About whatever as long as I have the capacity to do it and take it, I will capacity and bound with you. Wow. But I gotta be safe. I gotta have access. And there has to be transparency.
They say, I read a study that say the more educated the woman is, the freakier she is.
Facts.
I read that.
Facts.
I read that in Cosmo.
The facts.
I sure did.
Shout out to Cosmo. Shout out to Cosmo.
Yeah,
cheers, Cosmo.
Not reading Cosmo, but first of all, what kind of study is that? And define freakiness. Defined it. These Keishas is dumber than a box of rocks, and they out here doing everything under the sun. No education? What are they talking about? A degree makes her more freakier? How? What it does? What it does? Does it make her go on the tizzy tour? Various positions? The degree say, hey, listen, get in the pretzel. Let me tell you something, right? This talk about, being in a safe space and having access to, phones and, spending the man's money and all that. She's way past her prime talking this, She's way past the prime. This is not happening for women her age. It's not. It's not. Why do you think women try to look young? Why do you think they always try to shave off years of, try to make themselves look as young as they? Because they understand that as a young woman, they were more sought after than when they are, of a certain age. They get Botox. They try to get the wrinkles out of it. They get dye jobs. They see them with the BBLs. They get breast lift. They get all these tummy tucks to try to make themselves look how they look when they were in their 20s. And it's not happening. It's not happening. They spend thousands of dollars, go in debt, go to the bank, get loans, borrow money to go under the knife to try to look young, because they understand that the market, no matter what year, no matter how, the market for women always reside in her youth. Nobody is trying to court a woman who's in her 40s. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. On a large scale, it's not happening. In her 30s, it's dark. It start getting dark. In 40s, she's invisible. She's invisible. So all this talk about, what a guy has to do to get with you, those days are done. Dudes ain't doing none of that for you. Let me tell you something. These women that are in their 40s, they're the most thirsty women out there. They're thirstier than women in their 20s. They're thirstier than women in their 40s. They're giving the box away. You don't have to do nothing for them. They're giving the box away, man. Black men, women out there. I'm talking about Becky, Maria, Keisha. Women in their 40s are just giving the box away. You know why they're giving the box away? Because they have a hard time giving it away. They giving it away because they have a hard time giving it away. There's no buyers. There's no suitors. So if a dude do come along and give us some attention, it's immediate tizzy tours. I know what I'm talking about. These women in their 40s are just throwing the box left and right because there's nobody checking for them. They're thirsty. Super thirsty. These women are in lounges, 40-something year old in lounges, still in the clubs. Looking nasty, smoking hookahs. They still in the club in their 40s, black men. Looking for action. Looking for action. They online, just throwing the box away. Salute to the brothers in the Patreon. I'm constantly posting them in the Patreon being thirsty. And they're usually in their 30s and 40s being thirsty, looking for men, looking for help, looking for tizzy tours. So I don't know what she's talking about, but in her 40s, she's invisible, especially to the men she wants. They're not checking for her. All this is just babble, imaginary thoughts coming from an old, washed-up woman who thought she had all the time in the world, and now she's just selling delusion because that's what the women want to hear, that there's still a shot for them. No, there's nothing for y'all but tizzy tours until the sun burn out. You, women in your 40s, is just tizzy tours to the sun burn out. That's it. Tizzy tour, Netflix. Tizzy tour, dinner. Tizzy tour, work. That's it. That's the rest of your life. Go to the movies, tizzy tour. And the reason why I'm saying that is because their life is not filled. It's not filled with any companionship or any meaningful relationships because nobody takes them seriously. Nobody is looking at them saying, yeah, I don't mind wifing this. No, they know that it's a problem. They know that it's damage there. It's trauma. It's baggage. They know that. Nobody's interested in that. Nobody wants that. Men don't want that at all. And then the life is out of it. You look into these women in their 40s, you look into their life, it's soulless. Look into their eyes. It's soulless. They've been through so much. They've been taking on so many tizzy tours. It's soulless. It's soulless. You look into the eyes of a woman in her 20s, there's life there. You look into the eyes of a woman in her 40s, it's nothing. You're looking into a void, a black void. Nothing. Misery. That's all. Who wants to marry that? Nobody. You're done.
Poor.